Welcome, you're watching Northern Soul. Today we're doing a premium kinesiology tape testing. We've got 6 brands here in front of us, and these are the brands. I've got another video as well testing 7 brands, but there's a few fails in there, so we got rid of those. Brought in 2 new contenders that I haven't taped or tested before, which is the KT Tape Original and the KT Tape Pro, full the synthetic version. Making a return, we've got mobility tape, we've got K tape, we've got Theraband brand tape as well, and we've got Rocktape as well. So these are like most of these are established brands. Most people will recognize these brands. There may be there's obviously tons of brands out there, manufacturers of tape, brands of tape. Not included here. These are the ones that I'm most familiar with. I purchased all of them, so none of these were given to me. I purchased them with my own cash for the purpose of testing, so that it's non-biased, and therefore I can give you the most honest information, at least in this taping, this session, of what happened. So we're gonna go through that. I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. I know my other videos like super long because I went into all the details. We're going to edit all that out. So I'm just going to give you a rundown real quick, some pictures of day 3, day 5, and day 7, and talk through it about the points that are important, that I feel are important for taping in order to have a high quality tape that you can trust. So this is pro level stuff. This is stuff that if you need it to work for sure for an event, or you're hurting and you don't care about money and that sort of thing, you're more worried about quality over anything else and reliability, then these are reliable, great quality tape brands that are very consistent when you buy it. Price, we're not going to bring into this evaluation at all. I feel like the tapes are so they fluctuate so much, whether it's online or going to different clinics or wherever you buy your tape, where you're thinking about buying these tapes. They fluctuate so much, it's almost pointless to even talk about money. So you can decide that for yourself after you see what the results are, and if you find one for cheaper and you think it's a better value, go for it. There are no losers here at all. All of them meet at least my criteria for minimum standards of taping. Some excel and are surprisingly good, more surprising than I thought they would be, and there has been a letdown amongst the group as well, which I'll discuss in detail. I've got a point system, so I've got my notes. We're doing it old school, where I've written it down. That way I can just get right to it and don't have to worry too much about editing, get this information out there so people can view it, enjoy it, and make their decision right away as soon as possible. So I try to get brands out here that obviously people will recognize and should recognize. So let's get straight to it.
Oh God, what are you doing to me?
It's called
Kinesio taping.
God, why don't you just let me die?
Because Northern Soul. Boo! First thing to talk about is the tapes. So Rocktape here, and the taping itself. So how I did the testing was over the course of 7 days, and the testing is for normal testing. So it's not like any extreme sports were done or any of that stuff. With these taping, any of these tapes, if they last the event, that's a win if it's some sort of extreme thing. So if you're doing like a triathlon or Tough Mudder or something like that, lots of sweat, dirt, grinding onto other materials like beach volleyball, stuff like that, you can only expect any tape to really last that session, that day, and that's it. You'd probably get rid of it because it'd be so dirty and everything, and then reapply a new tape prior to either the next event or fresh for the day for the next day if you had an injury. So when the tapes themselves are talking about lasts up to 3 to 5 days or 5 to 7 days, they mean for normal people use. So for 95%, that's not a real number, I just pulled that statistic out of my butt. 95% of the people around us that just kind of go around through life and stuff, maybe have a pulled muscle or doing a bit of jogging or trying to stay in shape, so they're active, or maybe they just hurt themselves and they're kind of just going about their day with like showering, walking around, eating, and all that fun stuff, but still wearing the tape, then that will apply for like the 5 to 7 days or whatever the tapes are claiming to be able to stick on for. So the three, so that's, I just want to get that out of the way as well. The three most important criteria that I did for the point system was stretch overall. So stretch is one of the important abilities of the tape. If it doesn't stretch, it's not even Kinesio tape at that point, is it? So obviously how much it stretch will get some points for that. Colors and features. So there's a base feature of the tape. Yeah, they stretch. They come in some colors, but ones that come in more colors will get more points. Also, if they have any features that are above and beyond just a regular tape, like this would be an example of a regular tape, comes in like 4 colors, nothing special about it, nothing beyond just the tape. So that will have less marks than say something that is like here's one that's fully synthetic and has a reflective coating. That's a feature, and that would give it a point or so, depending on what I feel, and I'll explain as we go through that. And the most important one is obviously the adhesion, so how well it sticks and how long it sticks as well. So I'll go through that once we get to that. So that's the criteria for it. I think that's what makes up a tape, or a kinesiology tape. Anything beyond that is just kind of fluff. So let's get to it. So the point system is going to be out of 25, and the one that takes up the most points is going to be adhesion, because that's going to be the most relevant, I think, for most people. Okay, so if we're talking stretch, let's go to the first one. So stretch, what I consider a minimum stretch is 150%. So if you have a tape that's 10 centimeters long or 10 inches, whatever the type of measure it, let's say it's a 10 whatever, it should go up to at least 15. So 50% beyond its normal range. It should be able to stretch a minimum of 150, and I'm not really happy with 150. And then for point system, we went up to 200%. So that would be, if it started off as 10 inches or centimeters, it would go up to 20 inches or centimeters. So it's 200% increase in stretch. So a lot of tapes claim 160 to 180% stretch, which is ideal in there and about. The more stretchier a tape is, typically the more forgiving it is on skin, so you'll get less skin irritation. Some people mistakenly think that it's a reaction to the adhesive. It's not. It's well, it is a reaction to the adhesive in the sense that it's aggravating the skin, and you get sort of a rash effect. But that has to do with how much stretch you put on, and then how much is trying to tug on the skin at any one time. So the ones that have more stretch are more forgiving, and therefore in this case will get more points. So let's talk about stretch for these tapes. So I'm just going to go individually one by one. So we got K-Tape up here. Hopefully you can see that. K-Tape brand. This goes up to 160 for stretch. So all of them were measured at 10 centimeters, and then I measured them, and this would be like 16 centimeters. So it's 160. I just put it at even numbers to make it easy to calculate percentages just visually. Mobility tape, right here, that went up to 180. So I should probably talk about the point system. So 150% gets 1 point, and every 10% that went up from there, you got an additional point up to 5 points. So minimum stretch for me, I think is reasonable, is 150 to 200% stretch. I've never seen anything beyond that, and I've never seen a tape that I tested below that. So you get more points for more stretch. So that's 150 for K-tape, 180 for mobility tape, 180%. So that picked up 3 points, 1 point for K-tape, and then we've got KT Tape Pro, the full synthetic. That one went up to 180% stretch, so that picks up a cool 3 points. We've got the KT Tape Original, so this is more like the cotton style. That one was absolute shocker, went up to 190%, so that picks up a cool 4 points, and that's the absolute, that's the stretchiest tape I've ever seen, and I'm actually shocked it actually stretched further than the Pro, the synthetic one, since that's the Pro's kind of being targeted as the premium version. Like this is their entry level, and the Pro's the Pro. It says Pro on it. Otherwise it'd be like KT crap or something like that, but it's not. Theraband here. I was a fan of Theraband brand after the last testing that I did, and that one went up to 180 as well, so that picks up 3 points. And Rocktape, disappointingly, as I found out from last time, I thought it was going to be 180, 180%, but it ended up being 160. And I think it had a hard time getting up to there. It almost was like a 155, but I just gave it to it. So that picks up 1 point on stretch. Now, going into the next thing, the next category was colors and features. And some people might think, oh, colors, who gives a shit about colors? But the thing is, colors are important because you're going to be wearing this. It's going to be overt. It's typically, unless it's like under a shirt or something, there aren't too many options to make it covert. So there are some like versions of like camouflage, and they all come in beige. But if you're going to bother, like if it's going to be on your arm, you're going to see it. Sometimes you might want to have fun with it. So some of them come with many different colors and patterns and stuff just to keep it fun. So you get more points for the more options, because it takes more money for the company to invest in more colors, and therefore they're hoping that you'll buy, and by having the option you'll go to their brand. So I'm going to give them points based on that. So they're going to get points for being cool, let's put it that way, and giving you options, because I like options. That's going to be out of 3 points. So if you have like 4 colors available, that's 1 point. If you have like 6 colors available in and around there, 5, 6, that gives you 2 points. And if you get plus 7, 8, whatever, some of these have like 12 different colors, that would give you a full 3 points. And then there's 2 extra points allotted for useful features, so you'll get a point for depending on how important the feature is on each one, for a total of 5. So stretch gave you a total of 5 points, colors and features another total of 5 points. So let's see what we got here. So we'll start with KT again, or sorry, K-tape. I was getting mixed up. KT tape and K-tape, they're not the same. K-tape here, it only comes in like 4 colors, and there are absolutely no extra features. This is as basic a tape as you can buy. Doesn't mean it's crap, it's just there's not many options beyond that. So that gets a 1. Mobility tape, I think there's currently about 6 colors right now, so that picks it up a cool 2 points. Plus, this one here is the heated version. Somehow they've infused menthol and camphor within the tape itself. So that's a really massive feature. And it's not really any more expensive than like a Rocktape or something like that. I don't even think it is. It might be even cheaper actually. Even though price isn't supposed to come into the factor. But for that extra feature, like that's amazing that they can infuse that in there, and that'll really help and make a huge difference in like pain relief and even in relaxing muscles and stuff. Those 2 specific components are really good for absorbing into the skin, and they've done it somehow through the adhesive. So definite full points for features on that. So that's a 2 point feature plus the 2 points for color, so they picked up 4 points. KT Tape Pro, the synthetic version. I'll actually pull this out so you can see it. It's cool that it comes in a cover, and yeah, okay, Kerry Walsh looks great there. She looks better on that one than the original one. But okay, it comes in a nice little tin, that sort of thing, holder, and it's got, well, we might as well talk about it. It has a reflective coating. It's fully synthetic, so that'll definitely pick up. Let's see, did it pick up 2 points? It picked up 1 point for features. So the features, like, yeah, it's fully synthetic, so that's kind of cool. It adds a sort of sheen, but the problem with the sheen is after a couple, like after a shower or so, it starts the sheen kind of goes away. So it might be kind of an interesting thing for if you're a runner or something like that, or you really want to stand out. And the fact that it's synthetic helps with the drying property. So I noticed after a shower it's a little bit less damp, but it was damp. So this is not, I don't think it's as great a feature as they're claiming it to be versus cotton. I just dab the cotton and with the towel. I don't rub it because you'll knock the tape off, but if you dab it pretty dry, they're really close. And this one only dries slightly faster than the cotton in my experience, and then the reflectiveness kind of comes off as well. You'll see that. I'll put it up in the pictures, and you'll see how it's kind of diminished and it looks a bit dirty actually after a while. So it's kind of almost picked up an extra point for that, but then I'm going to take it away because it's being synthetic isn't really a feature if there's no real benefit to it. So it's not enough to get an extra point, but I'll give it 1 for extra features. And it's got a ton of colors. Oh man, this got like prints and colors and tons of stuff to choose from. It's like 12 plus different variations. Fantastic. So that'll be full points for colors. So that picks up 4 points. Yes. Now it's a cheaper brother over here, the original KT tape. This one happens to be red. You'll see it's similar to the K tape and mobility tape. I'll just pull that out. So you'll see it says K tape. These ones are pre-cut. That's a feature I don't actually like with both K tapes. They do come, I'll discuss about that later, but it's just, regular cotton feels pretty good. It kind of does fray a little bit here and there. Not bad. It's just pretty basic, but it comes in a ton of colors. So I'll give it full marks for colors, no marks for features. So that gives it a 3. Theraband tape here comes in, I think like 6 colors. So it gets the medium point system for colors. So I'll give it a 2 points for colors. And as far as features go, it gets a +1 for this cool sort of effect here. The Spider-Man thing. Now, this thing, these, what the hell are they called? Hexagons? They're actually purposeful here. So the small hexagon, when you stretch it and you make all the sides uniform, that is a visual indicator that it's a 25% stretch. And then when you get the large hexagonal shape here and then you make that uniform, it's a visual indicator that you have 50% stretch. So that's kind of a cool little visual cue for those that are not as familiar with the stretching, and it's nice to have a visual cue. Plus it's got a sort of Spider-Man effect on it, and anything Spider-Man, as far as I'm concerned, gets a +1. So that's going to get a +1 for features and a +2 for coloration. So that gives it a total of 3 points. Rocktape here. This one's cool. You'll see they got massive inventory of colors and patterns and stuff. This one happens to be digital camouflage. Maybe it looks a little bit better in the photos. This one kind of doesn't look that great when you see it up close. But I'm glad that they're at least giving the option to people to pick colors like this or skulls or whatever ones that say Rocktape. Many colors. Beyond that, no features though. It is tape and it's just patterning. So that gives it full marks for colors, but 0 for features. So that's 3 points. So that takes care of colors and features. I'll do all the adding up of the totaling at the end, and we'll give the conclusions, and then you can make your own conclusions on what you think is the tape to buy. So on the next and final point that we're talking about with these, and I'll probably put up pictures while I'm doing this, is the adhesion. So how well it stuck onto me during normal use over the course of a week. So I did have these on for 7 days. I split them up into 2 groups. So there was 2 tapes representing each one in different areas doing different stuff. And what I did was I totaled each one over the course of a week, and then put the 2 points or 2 scores together for the tapes if they survived and lasted that long, and then that gave us a total out of 15. So there'll be 2 tapes. They last 7 days, so a point per each day. So it's 7 on one tape, 7 days on the other tape. Put it together is 14, and they got a +1 point if both tapes survived and they looked like they would make it to day 8, day 9, day 10. They would get an additional bonus point for if I felt like they were sticking on well enough and were clean enough and that sort of thing. It looked pretty good, and they could make it further. Then they got an extra point, which would make it a total of 15. So today's full score of all those 3 categories will have a total of 25. So let's discuss what happened. So basically it's like 3 days, 5 days, and 7 days was how I was looking at this. Let's see. So everybody made it to day 3. Day 3 is minimum for me for what I consider tape adhesion. If it doesn't survive day 3 with normal use, like showering every day and stuff like that, then that's a fail. Like, I would not buy that tape again. Simple as that. They all made it to day 3. However, one tape pretty much stopped at day 3, which was the KT Pro synthetic. So this bugger here, one strip. So I had one strip of each on my shoulder, going with the lines of force, so going with the muscle, so that it would simulate offloading the muscle. And then I had a group of tapes on my calf, and the ones on the shoulder were no stretch. The ones on my calf were with 50 to 75% stretch, a cross fiber against the calf, simulating a circulation increase. So they're both very different tasking for both tapes. So depending on what happened and where they were and stuff. And I was kind of mindful of where it was. So I wasn't trying to like smack my shirt up against the tapes and stuff. I was trying to make sure like it stuck on of its own quality, not because I was ruining the factor and making tapes fail. So I was mindful of that, but I didn't want to be too careful around them, because that's also not representative of daily use. So kind of like in the middle, where you're aware of the tape's there, but you're not trying to baby the tape so that it lasts as long as possible. So I think this is a realistic test. And I would do the pictures, if they're up, are shown after a shower, which obviously they'd be susceptible to coming off then. And I would always pat dry with a towel, never rub it dry, so that it would cause tape to fail sometimes. So yeah, KT Tape Pro only made it. One tape made it to day 3 and had to be removed. The other tape was going strong, so that was one on the shoulder. That one came off. Also we had, okay, so that was the only one that failed. Everyone else was going on strong. At day 5, after shower, we had more failures. So we had, once again, on the shoulder area, we had the KT Tape Original fail. So one of those came off as well, or was coming off to the point where I would remove it and then reapply new tape at that point, either because it's like too junky, too ratty looking, or it's like one hit away from just coming off anyway. So or it's not useful anymore. So the KT Tape Original, one strip came off, and then also Rocktape, surprisingly, came off as well. Actually, both the tapes of Rocktape, day 5, failed. So the one on the calf failed, and then the one on the shoulder failed. So day 5, there was no Rocktape on me after day 5. So that was a shocker, because I've had Rocktape on for like 10 days before. So I don't really know, but I have to do it in the context, because they were all treated the same. It was the same time, same events, same sweating and the heat and stuff like that. So I don't know. That one, this either the worst roll I've ever had of Rocktape, or that's what it is. So make your own conclusions based on that. But I don't know. I'm just presenting the information to you. So both Rocktape failed on day 5. All the other tapes made it to day 7. Some looked better that they can continue. Most did not. Most made it to day 7, and that was about it. So let's go through it. So winners for day 7, at least on the shoulder, would have been K-Tape. So this one, K-Tape made it to day 7, both tapes, and they looked really clean, and they also looked like they could continue on for up to day 10. That looked like it was new almost. So amazing work from them. That gets full 15 points. K-Tape. Might as well run it that way then. Mobility tape, another winner. This made it to day 7. Both tapings, both look great. Both look like they can continue on to day 8, day 9, day 10. Interestingly enough, I might as well tell you this too. With the mobility tape, it's got the camphor and the menthol infused in it. But be aware that it only lasts for about a day or 2. You definitely notice it when you're showering. So I don't know if that helps like rinse off the elements, but it lasts about a day or 2, and then it becomes a normal tape. So just a heads up on that. So if you want the heating element or cooling element, depending on what's being applied, heat or cold to the tape, as well as pain relief, you're only going to get that effect for a day or two. Now I usually put it in a Ziploc bag. When I open the roll like that, I put it in a small Ziploc bag to keep the freshness and keep the essential oils or the actual minerals from escaping, because I want that. It smells amazing too. I love the smell of the menthol. It's a lot of fun. But I made it day 7, both tapes, and gets a +1 point for being able to carry on. So that's full 15 points, just like K-tape. KT tape, synthetic. This is winter green or something like that, I want to say. I like the shine. It's super cool. It looked cool. It felt like a 70s space show person or something like that, but like right out of Buck Rogers or something. Beyond that, let me find it. Okay, pro. Yeah, here we go. So day 3 fail, and then we've got day 7 was the last day. It didn't look good enough to continue after that. So that got a total of 10 points. KT tape, original. So this is the cotton version. According to this, okay, so we had 1 fail at day 5, and we had made it up to day 7 for the other one, but it wouldn't go further than 7. I would remove it after that. So that gets 12. Oddly enough, that's 2 points higher than the synthetic one, which even says right on it, if you can see that, the cotton one is days of wear 1 to 3, synthetic 4 to 7, and it's almost like it was reversed. Kind of funny. That's how this test went, I guess, but good on the original for pulling that off. Impressive numbers too, so that's pretty good. Beyond that, let's go to Theraband brand tape. And Theraband made it to day 7, both tapes, but they didn't look like they were good enough to continue. So at that point, it got a total of 14 points. So that's pretty cool. Still excellent. I mean, anything past 5 days is excellent. Let's talk about Rocktape as well. As I discussed, they only made it to day 5, both tapes, and that gives it a total of 10. So, in conclusion, if we're going to wrap this up, I've got my point system here. If you want to, you could probably pause the video and see how that went. Beyond that, we've got the totals down here. So we're going to run through it. So in last place was Rocktape at 14 out of 25. And then we have 2 for a second to last place, or a 4th place, I guess. Tied for 4th is K-tape at 17 and KT Pro synthetic. Those are tied for 4th place, at least in the overall numbers. And we've got in 3rd place would be KT Tape Original. That's that bugger in that box. And 2nd place goes to Theraband brand tape. And 1st place goes to, by the numbers, Mobility tape. So that is the overall winner by the numbers here in this taping. So what does that mean? Let's just put this into some perspective, because like I said, they all hit the minimum. So if you can find it for a good price, which we're not talking about here because it fluctuates. If you can find any of these for a good price, get them. You'll be happy. The other thing is, what's most important for you? So in this case, I kind of put what's important, what I think is ideal for a tape, and gave it points relative to that. But if maximum stretch is important to you, then maybe KT Tape Original, which has the maximum of 190%, might be the best bet. Or the other ones, like there's 3 other ones with 180%. All right, so in summary, in conclusion to the taping here, let me just summarize it in my own words. Obviously, take whatever information. If you have a favorite tape or whatever, go for it. Do whatever you want. It's a free country, right? Free world. Do whatever you want. But as far as I'm concerned, this is how I run it down. Okay, so Rocktape. Lots of patterns, lots of colors. Love it. Typically super reliable. I don't know why this one kind of failed. I was really disappointed in this roll, but love the colors and stuff. Too expensive for me, but overall good solid tape. The company's really nice. They got a few other products that are kind of innovative. Glad they're around to push the other companies, the other manufacturers as well. So glad they exist. Probably won't buy anymore because too much money for what is. K-Tape, probably the cheap version of Rocktape. That's the way kind of I look at it, which is a bit sad. Not enough colors to pique my interest. Kind of too bland for me. So not for that price point. I would probably say skip it. Oh, it's so harsh, isn't it? It's a harsh world. Let's talk about Theraband brand tape. Now, I actually really like this stuff. It ticks all the boxes. It sticks. It lasts. Everybody I tested on really likes the feel of it. Now, that's subjective. I've never had anyone come back with a rash, so it's super forgiving. Love this patterning. It comes in a few colors, sometimes not available. Not all colors are available, depending on like the wholesaler or distributor. But this is absolutely one of my favorites. Okay, let's go to KT Tape. This is the first time testing this stuff. This is KT Tape Original, the original one, so it's cotton one. Very surprised with the 190% stretch. That was incredible. Stayed on fairly long. I hate the pre-cut strip. So there's a pre-cut strip there. That's not 10 inches. That's like 5 inches there. So I cut one in half and like, what do I do with this? So it's a bit of a waste. Would not buy. I would maybe buy this one over the synthetic, the original, which is good because it's cheaper. Cotton I have no problem with. It comes in tons of colors. Prices fluctuate like crazy. It's a brand that's recognized. So if you want to be running out there and you're like, yeah, man, I bought some brand tape, you know, suck it, then this might be the brand you might want to pick. But otherwise, nothing special about it. It just kind of works, but I think the price might be a bit too high for me. So those of you looking at price, that might be a factor there. Basic tape. I'd rather personally have the Theraband over that, but my choice. Okay, so let's talk about mobility tape. Mobility tape itself, like the patterning, that comes in enough colors that satisfy me. Price points, I think it's fair for what it is. The heated tape all day. Now they have a regular version as well, which is cheaper still. Does everything this does, but doesn't have the heated elements. So that's where you get a little bit less cost. So that'll be similar to like the KT tape, but without. Well, it'll be similar to the KT tape or the Theraband tape, but minus the pre-cut and the stretch markers. Well, it's just basically that, but without the heat. So it's a normal tape, but for that, I think the price is very reasonable, and a few colors, nothing special, but good enough for me. The heated is invaluable, especially for heat. You really do notice it. If you get your sweat on and stuff like that, it can kind of be intense, is some of the feedback that I got. So for some people, you may not actually like it, but give it a try. You should always have, if you're doing tape at all and you're going to continue to do it, you should have probably at least a few rolls of this stuff kicking around, 1 or 2 rolls at all times, just for if it's a nasty, nasty pain that you just need some to diminish it a bit. That menthol and camphor can really help, but it's already conveniently already kind of wrapped up in the tape. So that's kind of a neat feature. Stretch is amazing, lasted the whole time. Winner of this head-to-head competition of premium brand tapes. Little known company. Get some tape before they become too big and jack up their prices probably. Next, let's talk KT Tape Synthetic. Excellent tape overall. KT Tape, the Synthetic Pro one, I wouldn't buy this again just because the cost factor. The shine is cool. It's nice to say things like synthetic. Like I like buying synthetic oil because it's synthetic. It's like robots or something. But it isn't. It's so inconsistent with the sticking, and I find it's a massive fail for water. Like, and we're talking like showering and stuff. So I can't even imagine doing like swimming sports and stuff like that with this. Now, bear in mind, they have a water version, so it's got a stickier adhesive. That was not used during this testing, but you'll be paying more for it, so even more for it. So whatever. And also Rocktape has an H2O version as well that you got to pay more for a sticky. Usually sticks just fine. That's why I don't get it. But I have had a sample before of the KT Tape Pro, which did not stick even for an hour. So I don't know. I think there's maybe it's hit and miss. Put down in the comments if you have a different experience with any of the tapes, positive or negative. Please share our knowledge on the taping in there as well. Beyond that, I'll let you, if any manufacturers of tape, if you're watching this and you want to give my viewers a discount or something, maybe we can set up a link or something in the description below where you can go and get a Northern Soul discount on the tape, or just message me through Northern Soul YouTube channel. Otherwise, and all the viewers, check in the description below just in case there's any links for a discount. That might be a really convenient way to do this, to get more tape online. As well, if there's anybody out there that wants me to test their tape as a manufacturer, send me a message as well. Hopefully you guys thought this was very helpful. Kind of this is shotgun this a little bit, but hopefully that makes sense to everybody on how I came to this conclusion. You guys obviously make your own conclusions. I'm not trying to tell you what tape to buy. I don't care what you do, but hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, give me a thumb up, give this video a thumb up, and think about subscribing as well. I also have other videos on the Northern Soul channel about 101 so if you're new to taping, you can go check that out, as well as I've got another 7 tape brand shootout that you can check out on top of this one. Otherwise, I've got other Kinesio taping for injuries and stuff like that, so check that out. Thanks for watching. I know this is a bit, this stuff adds up lengthwise, but hopefully you enjoyed that. Anyways, stay healthy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye.